A harmless man isn't a good man. A good man is a dangerous man with his strength under control. This powerful statement by the late American author and speaker Jordan Peterson challenges the very essence of masculinity. Consider the legendary samurai, Miyamoto Musashi, who is often remembered not just for his unmatched skill with a sword, but for the disciplined mindset he cultivated throughout his life. Musashi was feared by many for his fierce combat abilities, yet he was also respected for his wisdom and self-control. He understood that true strength lies not in aggression, but in the mastery of oneself. Musashi's journey exemplifies the delicate balance between danger and control. He could easily unleash chaos with his prowess, yet he chose a path of restraint, allowing him to thrive both in battle and in the art of living. The respect he commanded came from knowing he could act decisively when necessary while maintaining a calm demeanor. As we delve deeper into this topic, I invite you to consider your own identity. What kind of man are you? Are you harmless, simply avoiding confrontation, or are you a man who has cultivated a controlled power? By the end of this video, you'll gain profound insights into where you stand on this spectrum and discover why this understanding is crucial, not just for your personal growth, but for the relationships and responsibilities you navigate in life. So let's embark on this journey of self-discovery together. The false ideal of harmlessness. Historical shift in masculinity. Throughout history, the archetype of masculinity has been one of strength, courage, and protection. Men were revered as warriors, leaders, and protectors of their families and communities. They were celebrated for their ability to confront danger, defend their loved ones, and uphold justice. However, as society has evolved, particularly in the last century, there has been a significant shift in the expectations placed upon men. In modern times, qualities such as harmlessness and passivity are often glorified. The media and popular culture frequently portray the ideal man as one who avoids conflict, eschews aggression, and maintains a peaceful demeanor. While these traits may seem virtuous, they represent a distortion of true masculinity. Why harmlessness is misunderstood. The misconception that harmlessness equates to virtue is a dangerous belief. Being harmless is not a sign of moral superiority. Instead, it signifies a state of weakness, not strength. A harmless individual lacks the capacity to defend themselves or others when it matters most. This passivity often leads to a life characterized by inaction, resulting in missed opportunities and unresolved conflicts. When a man sees himself as harmless, he inadvertently embraces a victim mentality, relying on others to shield him from life's adversities, rather than developing the skills and confidence necessary to face challenges head-on. Psychological implications of harmlessness. The psychological consequences of adopting a harmless mindset are profound. Many men who embody this ideal experience heightened anxiety and depression. Without the tools to confront life's difficulties, they feel powerless and overwhelmed. The absence of resilience can lead to a pervasive sense of purposelessness, as they struggle to find meaning in a life marked by passivity. Additionally, low self-esteem often plagues harmless men, as they recognize their inability to assert themselves or protect those they care about. This cycle of inaction can create a deep-seated sense of dissatisfaction with life, resulting in a disconnect from their true potential. Story example of a harmless man. Consider the story of David, a mild-mannered man who believed that avoiding conflict was the best approach to life. David was known for his pacifist beliefs, often shying away from disagreements in his personal and professional relationships. When faced with a difficult conversation with his partner about their future, David chose to remain silent, fearing confrontation. Over time, this avoidance led to resentment and misunderstandings, ultimately straining their relationship. In a workplace setting, David continued to accept blame for his team's failures, believing that stepping up to defend his ideas would lead to conflict. His colleagues began to overlook him, assuming he lacked conviction. As he retreated further into his harmless persona, he lost opportunities for growth and advancement, leading to feelings of inadequacy and frustration. The consequences of David's harmlessness were dire. He experienced increasing anxiety, a sense of isolation, and a loss of identity. Instead of becoming a man of strength and control, he allowed himself to be defined by his passivity, leading to a life filled with regret. David's story serves as a stark reminder of the pitfalls of harmlessness. It highlights the importance of cultivating strength, discipline, and control, not just for personal growth, but for the ability to protect oneself and others in a world that can often be unpredictable and dangerous. True virtue lies not in being harmless, but in embracing one's capacity for strength while maintaining the wisdom to use it responsibly. The good man is dangerous. What it means to be dangerous. Reframing the term. When we think of the term dangerous, our minds often conjure images of violence, aggression, and unpredictability. However, it's essential to reframe this concept. Being dangerous doesn't imply that one is a threat to society or prone to acts of violence. Instead, it signifies a person who possesses the capacity for strength, assertiveness, and even aggression, all under voluntary control. This nuanced understanding reveals that a truly dangerous man is one who has the power to be formidable, yet chooses to wield that power responsibly. Dangerousness is about having the ability to stand up for oneself and others, to take decisive action when necessary, and to navigate challenges with confidence. It's about being prepared to protect what you value, while also understanding the implications of your strength. This capacity for strength is not something to be feared or suppressed. Rather, it should be embraced and cultivated. A good man is dangerous because he possesses the self-awareness to recognize his capabilities and the wisdom to control them. Why dangerousness is essential for a good man. Psychological theories, particularly those rooted in Jungian archetypes, illuminate the importance of acknowledging our inherent capacity for aggression. Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self, which encompasses the repressed and often darker aspects of our personality. Denying this part of ourselves can lead to an imbalance, resulting in frustration, anxiety, and a lack of fulfillment. By recognizing and integrating this shadow aspect, men can achieve a more holistic sense of self. Moreover, the principles of Stoicism provide a framework for understanding how dangerousness, when channeled positively, becomes a force for good. Stoicism emphasizes self-mastery, courage, and resilience. A dangerous man embodies these principles. He understands that true strength lies in the ability to control his impulses and emotions. Rather than reacting with uncontrolled aggression, he chooses to respond thoughtfully and assertively. For instance, a man who trains in martial arts embodies this concept beautifully. He possesses the skills to inflict harm, but consciously chooses to prioritize peace and self-discipline. This ability to control one's strength not only fosters personal growth, but also enables men to protect those around them and stand up against injustice. Dangerousness in action. To illustrate the positive implications of dangerousness, let's consider a few examples. A father protecting his family. Imagine a father whose primary instinct is to protect his loved ones. He is strong and capable, but he doesn't resort to violence without cause. When a threat arises, be it a stranger approaching too closely or a situation that endangers his family, he acts decisively and confidently. His dangerousness manifests in his willingness to confront danger head-on, providing a sense of security and stability for his family. This is a powerful example of how dangerousness can be channeled into protective instincts. A leader. Making tough decisions. In the realm of leadership, dangerousness can be exemplified by a leader who has the courage to make difficult choices, even when they may not be popular. This leader possesses the authority and the strength to impose change, but understands the weight of their decisions. They recognize that sometimes, to uphold a greater good, they must take risks and make sacrifices. Their dangerousness is tempered by wisdom, as they act not out of ego, but with a vision for a better future. A martial artist who chooses peace. Consider a skilled martial artist who has honed their body and mind through rigorous training. This individual could easily dominate most opponents, but chooses to avoid conflict unless absolutely necessary. Their dangerousness is evident not in their actions, but in their restraint. They know that true strength lies not in fighting, but in the ability to walk away from conflict, demonstrating both power and wisdom. Dangerous men throughout history. History is replete with figures who exemplified dangerousness in both feared and revered ways. Theodore Roosevelt, for instance, was known for his robust masculinity and adventurous spirit. He was a formidable leader who took decisive actions to protect the nation's interests, yet he was also deeply compassionate and committed to conservation. Roosevelt's dangerousness was apparent in his willingness to confront challenges, both in politics and in his personal life. Similarly, Nelson Mandela stands as a testament to the power of dangerousness channeled into constructive means. Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years for standing against apartheid, a system built on oppression. Upon his release, he chose the path of reconciliation rather than revenge. His ability to forgive those who had wronged him showcased the incredible strength of character that comes with true dangerousness. Mandela used his power to unite a divided nation, transforming his personal journey into a force for positive change. These historical figures illustrate that dangerousness, when tempered with wisdom, empathy, and moral clarity, can lead to profound impact and positive transformation. Being a good man is not about being harmless. It's about embracing one's inherent strength and using it to uplift and protect those around you. In understanding the true meaning of dangerousness, men can cultivate a deeper sense of purpose, fulfillment, and responsibility in their lives. Controlled power, the key to becoming truly good. What does voluntary control look like? The essence of being a good man lies in the mastery of one's own power, what can be termed as controlled power. This concept involves a unique blend of strength, assertiveness, and self-regulation. To illustrate what voluntary control looks like, we can break down the traits of a man who embodies this principle. Emotional regulation. A man with controlled power understands his emotions and can navigate them effectively. He doesn't react impulsively, but instead takes a moment to assess the situation. This allows him to respond thoughtfully, rather than with aggression or defensiveness. Mastery over impulses. True control means having the ability to suppress immediate impulses that may lead to negative outcomes. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions altogether. Rather, it involves recognizing when an impulse is unproductive and choosing to act differently. Discipline in tough situations. In challenging scenarios, a man with controlled power demonstrates resilience and steadiness. He remains calm under pressure, exhibiting a level of discipline that allows him to think clearly and make rational decisions rather than being driven by fear or anger. These traits collectively create a foundation for what it means to wield power responsibly, transforming potential aggression into a source of good. Practical methods for cultivating control. To develop the ability to harness controlled power, men can adopt various actionable steps that promote discipline and emotional regulation. Physical discipline. Engaging in sports, martial arts, or weightlifting not only builds physical strength, but also fosters discipline. These activities require men to learn control over their bodies and reactions, teaching them to push through pain and exhaustion while maintaining focus. For instance, martial arts practitioners learn to manage their aggression and channel it into productive techniques, which directly translates to self-control in everyday situations. Mental discipline. Mindfulness practices, stoic exercises, and meditation are powerful tools for cultivating mental discipline. These techniques help individuals gain insights into their thoughts and emotions, allowing them to detach from knee-jerk reactions. By regularly practicing mindfulness, men learn to observe their thoughts without judgment and to develop a sense of calm, enabling them to respond to challenges with clarity. Emotional intelligence. Developing emotional intelligence is crucial for understanding when to assert oneself and when to step back. A man with high emotional intelligence recognizes the impact of his emotions on others and can gauge the right moment to exercise his power. This involves learning to empathize, communicate effectively, and build healthy relationships, all integral components of controlled power. The balance between power and compassion. At the heart of controlled power is the delicate balance between strength and compassion. True strength comes not from the ability to dominate or intimidate, but from knowing when to unleash power and when to show restraint. A good man can express his strength while remaining empathetic and compassionate toward others. This balance is crucial in creating a harmonious environment where strength is used for protection and support, rather than oppression or control. A prime example of this balance can be seen in the way leaders navigate crises. A compassionate leader understands the fears and concerns of their team while maintaining a firm hand when necessary. By being assertive without being overbearing, they foster an atmosphere of trust and respect, demonstrating that true strength lies in supporting others rather than overpowering them. Paradox of control. The paradox of controlled power is that the more control one has over their dangerous side, the less likely they are to need to use it. This control acts as a defense mechanism, creating a safety net that prevents individuals from resorting to aggression or violence. When a man is secure in his strength, he doesn't feel the need to prove it through bravado or intimidation. Instead, he can navigate conflicts with confidence, knowing that his ability to control his impulses is his greatest asset. This paradox is evident in various scenarios, such as conflict resolution or negotiations. A man who understands his power can approach these situations with a calm demeanor, enabling him to listen and empathize rather than react defensively. His controlled power allows for constructive dialogue and the possibility of finding common ground, further reinforcing the idea that true strength is rooted in restraint. Example of a man with controlled power. A compelling example of a man who embodied controlled power is Tommy McGowan, a military veteran who transitioned from serving on the front lines to becoming a community leader. After experiencing the chaos and violence of combat, Tommy returned home with a deep understanding of both his capabilities and the importance of control. Instead of seeking to dominate in civilian life, Tommy utilized his experiences to mentor troubled youth in his community. He established a program that taught discipline, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence through sports and mentorship. His calm demeanor and ability to share his own struggles resonated with the young men and women he worked with, helping them to develop their own sense of controlled power. Tommy's journey illustrates that true goodness comes from recognizing the potential for danger within oneself and choosing to wield it with wisdom and compassion. His legacy is a testament to the power of controlled strength, a force for good that inspires others to find their own balance between power and restraint. In conclusion, controlled power is a vital trait for men striving to embody true goodness. By mastering emotional regulation, practicing discipline, and balancing strength with compassion, men can cultivate a form of power that uplifts themselves and those around them, ultimately contributing to a more just and harmonious world. Why harmlessness leads to failure. Harmless men in relationships. Being harmless often results in failure in personal relationships. Many people mistakenly equate passivity with virtue, believing that being accommodating or non-confrontational is a sign of kindness. However, partners typically seek strength and assertiveness. A partner who cannot stand up for themselves is unlikely to command respect or admiration. Women, in particular, are biologically wired to be attracted to strength, both physical and emotional. A relationship thrives on mutual respect, and when one partner consistently plays the role of the passive, harmless individual, it can lead to an imbalance. This imbalance often manifests in a lack of excitement or challenge, causing the dynamic to stagnate. The partner who exhibits controlled strength creates an environment where both individuals can flourish, while the harmless man can unintentionally foster feelings of frustration and boredom in their partner. Harmless men in society. The repercussions of harmlessness extend beyond personal relationships and into broader societal interactions. Harmless men often struggle in competitive environments because they tend to avoid conflict, shun risks, and shy away from challenges. In workplaces where assertiveness and initiative are valued, such men may find themselves overlooked for promotions or leadership opportunities. Respect in society is often earned through the display of strength, confidence, and decisiveness. When harmless men refuse to assert themselves, they diminish their own worth in the eyes of their peers. This lack of assertiveness can lead to a cycle of missed opportunities and diminished self-esteem, ultimately leaving them feeling disheartened and unfulfilled. Story example of a harmless man in society. Consider the story of David, a man who epitomized harmlessness in his career. David worked at a competitive marketing firm where innovation and bold ideas were highly valued. Instead of presenting his concepts during team meetings, he often remained silent, allowing more assertive colleagues to dominate the conversation. While his ideas were solid, he consistently shied away from expressing them, fearing rejection and conflict. As time passed, David noticed that his contributions were rarely acknowledged, and he began to feel invisible within the organization. His avoidance of confrontation cost him the chance to collaborate on high-profile projects that could have significantly boosted his career. Eventually, he was passed over for promotions, leaving him feeling trapped in a dead-end position. David's harmlessness not only stunted his career growth, but also diminished his self-respect and led to deep feelings of dissatisfaction. The cost of harmlessness. The long-term costs of being harmless are profound. Individuals like David often experience lost potential and regret over missed opportunities. The inability to stand up for oneself translates into a life filled with what-ifs. Harmless men may look back on their lives and feel a sense of failure for not having the courage to pursue their dreams or fight for what truly mattered to them. Moreover, the lack of self-respect that arises from being harmless can lead to emotional turmoil. When individuals avoid conflict and fail to assert themselves, they may find themselves battling feelings of inadequacy and worthlessness. This cycle can be damaging, leading to anxiety, depression, and a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction with life. Ultimately, the cost of harmlessness is not just about missed opportunities. It encompasses a fundamental loss of self. A life lived without asserting one's needs, desires, and boundaries can lead to an existence filled with regret. True fulfillment comes from the courage to embrace one's strengths and confront challenges head-on, fostering personal growth and meaningful connections in both relationships and society. As we wrap up this exploration of what it means to be a truly good man, I want you to reflect deeply on the core message we've discussed today. The choice is simple: be harmless or be good. But remember, to be good, you must first be dangerous. Embracing your capacity for strength and assertiveness is not just about being feared, it's about mastering yourself and using that power to uplift others. So, what kind of man do you want to be? A man who blends into the background, or one who stands firm, knows his worth, and uses his strength for good? This is not merely a philosophical question. It's a challenge to take action in your life. If you found value in this message, I urge you to subscribe for more content like this. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this empowering message. Let's create a community of men committed to self-mastery and using their strength responsibly. Here's my final thought for you. What will be your first step toward becoming that dangerous man who wields his strength for good? Reflect on it and take action. Whether it's starting a new workout routine, enrolling in a class, or simply committing to being more assertive in your daily life, remember that every great journey begins with a single step. Choose to be the man who not only recognizes his potential, but also acts on it. The choice is yours. Make it count.